Greetings with Ride of Fame, and I'm here today to talk to you about soccer. Now, the United States prides itself in being different from the rest of the world. Now, sometimes that's a good thing, and sometimes we're completely off base. When it comes to our historically low-level interest in soccer, I'd say we're off base. Let's take a look at the numbers. EJ?
I mean, when you think of the Super Bowl, you think of the most viewed sporting event. Well, this year had 114 million people watching, but it doesn't compare at all to the 2014 World Cup. It had 3.2 billion people watching it.
Theories as to why people in the US don't watch soccer range from Americans hate tie games to Americans think soccer is boring. Now, the latter always confuses me because isn't baseball the most boring sport ever created? America's pastime?
What we really want to talk about today is not why Americans haven't watched soccer in the past, but why they are watching it more now.
For starters, European talent has been a huge help to the MLS. Take a look at NYCFC. Last year was their first year. With the help of players like Andrea Pirlo from Italy, David Villa from Spain, and Frank Lampard from the UK, NYCFC's home opener had over 30,000 spectators.
And another thing that I think is really contributing is the same thing that makes soccer so popular around the world, the camaraderie.
That's a great point. I've been to soccer games in Europe, and what makes them so special is the atmosphere. From the club chants that everyone knows to the deafening whistles when they're unhappy with a call. The games are an extraordinary event to be a part of. I think Americans are starting to realize how intense these games can be. And let's be honest, we all want to be a part of that.
You're right, I went to my first professional soccer game at NYCFC's home opener. The excitement was contagious.
Believe it or not, soccer is actually rising rapidly. This becomes apparent when you take into account the fact that when soccer became a professional sport in the US in 1967, it had already been over 100 years since the sport began in Europe. Granted, we still have a long ways to go, but the popularity of the sport has grown exponentially.
This is also apparent when you take a look at soccer at the lower levels. According to a FIFA study, the US had more youth soccer players than any other big World Cup contender in 2014.
I played soccer for 8 years and then switched to coaching the younger kids, and I'll tell you, it is huge at the younger levels. Also, there have been some great soccer players come out of the US, but then they just head over to Europe. As soccer continues to grow, these players will start staying to play in the US, and then it'll help the sport grow even more.
As you can see, there's not one proven reason for why Americans took so long to accept soccer or why in the past they lose interest after high school.
But what we do know is that the numbers are up. In 2014, the average MLS attendance was roughly 19,000. Enter 2015, the average jumped to well over 21,000. Granted, we're nowhere near the NFL, but we are closing in on the MLB. It's only a matter of time before soccer is up there with the other American favorites. The weather is great. It's time to get out there and watch and play some real football.